Welcome back to QT with the Pod. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. And I am here today to talk about what to do when you are the toxic one, slash, your toxic sis. Before we get into that, make sure that you are following me on Instagram at QT with a Pod and at BigQuiqui. Take a screenshot of this episode, post it to your story, tag me, do all of that fun stuff. Who doesn't love to be tagged on Instagram? So make sure you tag me. With that being said, we are going to jump into today's topic. So I was looking at a bunch of I was on Instagram, of course, because I'm always on Instagram. And there are always so many posts about like how to know 5 signs you're in a toxic friendship, 6 signs he's toxic, 7 signs your mother is toxic, 7 signs, and I just did an episode on like toxic black family traits. So we love to point out flaws in others in general. That's just what we are good at. We see other people for what they are or what they portray, and it's easy to pass judgment because it's just like, okay, you've done this, this, and this. This means you're that kind of person. But I ask you, do you ever turn the tables and look at your actions and say, you've did X, Y, and Z. You are the toxic one. I was waiting on you guys, like shake your head, nod your head, just give me some type of response. And I know it's very hard because this requires self-reflection. And I think that being able to reflect on yourself you have to learn how to do it. That's not an innate trait at all. We aren't born knowing how to reflect on our actions and think about how it affects others. That's why when you're in elementary school, for instance, and you hit another kid, the teacher says, "Hey, Billy, you hit Sarah. Why did you do it?" Billy has to say why he hit Sarah. How do you think that made Sarah feel? It made her feel sad. Now people have to talk you through those types of things. We aren't just born knowing how to do that. So I ask that you today truly reflect on your actions to see if you are toxic. And it's not if you are toxic, it's more like, are you a toxic person? I know that everyone has their days when they are the toxic person, but there's a difference between having a bad day and just having a general bad vibe. When you come around, are people excited to have you around, or does the energy change? When you go home, are you able to just call anyone, or do you feel like you have no one to call? Those are all things that you need to think about because that's going to determine what kind of person you are, okay? It's easy. We just have to deal with it and talk about it. So, in general, if you feel like, and throughout this episode, I'll probably like interchange between identifying toxic people and being toxic yourself because it's the same thing. It's just changing the way you look at it. So, if in general you feel like bad things are always happening to you and everyone around you can't trust anyone around you, or you don't like any of the people around you, you have this woe is me mentality, there is a very strong possibility that you are that toxic person. Just thinking about how others react to you is very important. So I want to talk through some things. It's an acronym that I came up with to help identify toxic traits. And I'll just kind of talk about each letter, of course, because that's what I love to do. And then we'll talk about what you can do if you are that toxic person and how to change that. Because we can't be toxic forever, sis. Sometimes you can be toxic, other days you got to be healthy. So the acronym I'm going to be using is ICE. So if you're a girl, if you're an ice queen, a guy, an ice king. So if you are an ice queen or an ice king, there is a high probability that you are being toxic. So I is for imbalance. So if there's just a general imbalance in the way you interact with people, or the way you communicate with people, the boundaries you have with people, then it's uneven in some sense. There isn't an equal give and take. In a friendship, relationship, both of you should be equally yoked. We should be giving the same amount of effort and attention. But if you are in terms of you being the toxic person, if you are taking and not giving equal attention, communication, respecting the other person's boundaries, there's just an imbalance. If you feel like you are on a pedestal in a sense or better than that person, there's an imbalance because nobody should want to be friends with someone that they feel like they are better than, or someone that they don't really feel like they need or can benefit from. Another thing that comes to mind in terms of being imbalanced is neediness. Nobody, so if you constantly need like your friend's validation, your friend's attention, you just need more than you are willing to give to them, there's an imbalance. So, I is for imbalance. Awesome. Let's move to the second letter in ICE. Second letter is controlling. So, if you feel the need to control every single situation with another person, you're toxic. So, controlling the times you hang out, when you hang out, the length of the hangout, what type of hangout, never even just asking their opinion or trying to act like you even care what they think. That is controlling. In terms and also being controlling, so when you control these situations or even trying to control the other person and their emotions, so that can go as far as gaslighting. You don't want to accept blame for things. You make it seem like everything is that other person's fault. Nothing can be your fault. Just always trying to be in control, which everything relates. It relates to imbalance. You want to have like a sense of power in the relationship, and it's not equally yoked. You want to be in charge. Being inconsiderate of the other person's feelings, never apologizing, things like that. And as I'm thinking, because again, everyone has their toxic days, I can definitely relate to the controlling aspect. I don't like to be in situations where I can't I can't foresee the future, or I know I won't like the outcome of the situation, so I do try to control as much as I possibly could. Sometimes that sense of control can lead to you self-sabotaging. Quick story time. So I started talking to this guy, and because I am controlling and I know I am, I didn't like that he wasn't texting me or acting the way I wanted him to. So in the past, and literally all my past relationships, like guys have been like, for instance, last relationship, we started talking in the beginning of November, and he had already invited me to meet his family for Thanksgiving. So that's been like, I guess, the pace, right? So that's what I was used to. Like, we're rolling, aka we're toxic, right? So this guy was literally moving at the pace that I would want to move at, the pace that was in my head when I was talking to other guys. It was like, this is how a relationship should work. And he wasn't trying to love on me. So I was like, what is going on? He's not doing what I want him to do. So that led me to then have irrational thoughts. Oh, he must not like me, or he must not like that I said this, because why isn't he bothering me so much? I'm like, oh my God, he's so annoying. Like, why is he literally the male version of me? So I had to come to terms with the fact that, hey, Kui, you're just upset because he's not blowing up your phone, and you don't have the opportunity to say, he's so annoying. Why does he keep doing this? And he's literally moving at the same pace as you. So that was weird for me. It was. Has that happened to any of you before? Is it just me? Let me know. So that was a day, that was like a bad day. I wouldn't say that was an overall bad vibe I was giving off, but that particular time period, I was like, what is going on? And I was genuinely confused. Granted, I mean, now communication's better. Like, we've been talking for a longer time, but initially I was just like, what is going on? Something isn't right, all because of the fact that I couldn't control how often someone communicated with me. So, that is controlling. The next letter we are going to talk about, and this is the last letter in ICE. So, ICE in balance, C is for controlling, and E is for emotionally draining. So, this is when I was talking about, like, pay attention to how people may feel when you come around. Sometimes, well, all the time, no one likes to be around people that are emotionally draining, because that person is maybe projecting a strong level of emotion that just is too much, or maybe they're not projecting enough emotion. So let me talk about it. So maybe, for instance, this person is overly critical. Like, everything someone does, they are criticizing it, and it's not like what is the word I'm looking for? Not friendly critique, but critical. No, you know the word I'm trying to say. You guys are saying it. So it's not like a critique. It's literally like, you do this, instead do that. And nobody wants to be around it. It's draining, because now someone feels like they need to perform around you or be a certain way instead of just being themselves, because you don't accept them for who they are. So let's stop being super critical of the people we're around. Like, no, everyone does not think the same. Do we feel like we know better because we have an ego and we feel like we know every little thing sometimes? Yes, but that doesn't work for everyone. Different strokes for different folks. Someone who's super negative, like, they just literally talk about negativity around every situation. Hey, we're gonna go here. Hey, we're going to the mall. I hate the mall. We have to walk. Oh, we have to go into this store. I hate this store. Oh my God, that guy that works there. And it's just like, just go with the flow. That's draining, to constantly deal with someone's negative emotions. Even jealousy. If you are jealous of someone, probably, I don't know how to deal with that. I don't know how to deal with that, and I won't say that I've never been jealous of anyone. I feel like the jealousy that I've had has been very superficial, like, oh, I want that, and it goes away. But as far as like long-term jealousy, like, this person is this way and I wish I was that way, I've never felt that. But, well, I've never projected that onto someone, but I've definitely been around people that I felt like they were jealous of me, and it's hard for me to even process that, because I'm just like, why would you be jealous of someone else when you can, A, try to be the best version of yourself, or B, just accept that it's not for you and keep it moving, because maybe you're meant to have something better than that person. Everything isn't meant for everyone. But it is emotionally draining. So, me speaking from being around people that do display jealous emotions, like, it is emotionally draining, because it's just like, I'm going to hide this part of myself because I don't want to trigger anything in them. Another emotionally draining emotion, being aggressive. Like, you don't have to be aggressive with everything you do. So, I this is something with me. I love to make fun of people. I That's just what I do. I make fun of them. Some people get it, some people don't. So I'm super sarcastic as well. That can be seen as aggressive as well to some people, but some people are just like, okay, like, I have a friend, and sometimes I'll just be throwing jabs at her, and she's like, okay, it's time for me to get off the phone with you now. And I'm like, okay, I understand that. Those are her boundaries. She had too much. She's ready to hang up the phone. That is a-okay. She was emotionally drained. So, yeah, being emotionally draining. If you feel like that person is just doing too much, and you are that person doing too much, and people just don't want to be around you, people feel like they can't be themselves around you because of how you may feel, that is toxic. So, if you are an ice queen or an ice king, you are toxic. Of course, there are way more, I guess, traits associated with toxic people, because toxic is a very broad term. Literally, it just means that you are poisonous. You can't be taken in large doses. So that is different for every person. But Ice Queen, Ice King, I is for imbalance, C is for controlling, and then E is for emotionally draining. So now let's move into what do we do if we are that toxic person? How do you actually change that? So the first thing that I think is the most important is to respect other people's boundaries. And I think I said this earlier. It's difficult because some people you just hang around and like you already know, okay, he's not going for that. I won't even say this because I already know how he's going to take it. And then some other, like the boundaries are already there. What's understood doesn't have to be said. But with some people, like they literally have to state, like, I'm not comfortable with this. And that is okay. Whatever way someone states their boundaries, you have to respect that because people aren't there just for you to use or make you feel better or make you feel like you are in control in a sense, okay? So start respecting people's boundaries. That's one. Two, focus on yourself. It seems like when I was going through and just thinking of all the different traits of toxic people, they tend to use people or want to get something out of people. You need to develop a hobby, find something to occupy your time because you shouldn't be relying on other people to fulfill all of your needs. And I've friends, family, boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, they should be supplements to your life, not at the core, the root of your life. Like, who are you? What are you? What do you enjoy to do? Which some of us are very reliant on people and need that interaction to thrive, but I feel like we truly need to be in touch with ourselves first and foremost. Maybe that can be the loner in me talking. I am a loner. And then third, which is related to everything, drop the ego. And this is coming from the queen of ego. I will fight with you tooth and nail just because my ego said so. But sometimes you have to drop it. It's not always important to be right, especially when that's literally all you're fighting for, being right, not being happy or making someone else happy. Sometimes it's not, and I know, you guys are probably like, I can't believe Quenisha's saying this. The queen of being selfish. Yes. Sometimes it's not all about you. Sometimes it's about other people. Drop your ego and let it flow. Sometimes you're going to do things you don't want to do, say things you don't want to say. Um, just make sure that you are being honest with yourself, and it's literally just for the sake of dropping your ego. That's it. Now, I'm not saying let everyone run all over you. A random person you meet on the street ask you for $20, you give it to them. No, 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 no. You just drop your ego. So let's go over that. How to change. 1, respect other people's boundaries. 2, focus on yourself. And 3, drop your ego. So that is my episode on what to do if you are the toxic one. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, I hope you guys have a great week. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.